Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It is Monday, so we are getting on our mat. Today, I have a gentle flow sequence set up for us. So I did grab my blocks. You don't necessarily have to have blocks, but this is definitely a prop that I use a lot in my personal practice and when I teach. So if you are ever looking for or unsure of which props to get for yoga to do at home, I highly recommend blocks. They're just a really nice tool to kind of extend the arms to give you more accessibility to poses. So we're going to do a gentle sequence. We're going to open up the sides of our bodies and let's go ahead and get to it. So find a comfortable seat, whatever that means for you. You can sit on a block, you can sit on your feet, you can sit on the floor or in a chair. Just take these first few moments and I want you to just check in with your body. You can close your eyes, gaze softly toward the floor, and just take a few moments, and I want you to scan through the body and notice how you are feeling. Notice the top of your head and just work your way all the way down to your toes, noticing joints and muscles. Noticing how your body is taking up space today. And bring your awareness to your breath. Maybe a big breath in and breath out, letting those shoulders sink away from the ears. We just take these first few moments to allow us to step into our physical body, to check in, to clear the head. Allow that next inhale to be a little longer. The next exhale to be a little more complete. Slowly letting one breath move into the next. Taking some nice, deep, slow breaths. Good. Let's inhale both arms up. Interlace the fingers, press palms away, deep breath in. And then just exhale it out. Good. Let's take our right arm out in front of us. Toes point, or fingers point down, palm facing you, and just taking a little stretch in those forearms. This is a great way to open up the forearm muscles and kind of counter the computer work and things that we do. Apparently Lydia would like my attention. This is Lydia. She's been coming out a little bit more. She's our shy one. Rotate so palm faces away, fingers point down. That gets the underside of your forearm muscles. And then shake that arm out and switching sides. So fingers point down, palm faces you, giving a little stretch. And I am straightening my arm all the way. If I put a little bend in it, sometimes I don't get as much of a stretch. So I am straightening my arm all the way, which we don't always kind of lock things out, but I do in the stretch. And then rotate so fingers point down, palm faces away. And then shake that out. Excellent. Okay, let's come to hands and knees, tabletop position. So when we're in tabletop position, we want to think about hips over knees, shoulder, elbow, and wrist stacked. If this is too much on your wrist, you can go a little bit forward. That takes a little pressure out of the wrist, and then think about pressing your fingertips and knuckles into the floor. And we'll start with cat-cows. So we're going to curl the spine, arching up like a cat, tucking the chin. And then allow the tailbone to lift, belly to hang, gazing forward, lifting the chin. And we're just moving through the spine, linking it with the breath. So I like to inhale as I move into cow and exhale as I move into cat. But it's entirely up to you. You can do either way. There's no right or wrong. Just moving through the spine. Thinking about intentionally rolling through the spine, tucking the chin, so we're getting that full length from tailbone to the top of the head. Good, and then come back to neutral. Kind of swing my hips from side to side. Sometimes that feels good after cat-cow. We're gonna plant our left hand, right palm faces the belly, right arm goes under left, drop the right shoulder and the right side of the head to the floor. My ear is off the floor. Then I'm going to pull this left hip back just like an inch. It just keeps the pelvis even. Taking a deep breath into the back of the right shoulder. And then inhale, come back up, plant the right hand, left palm faces the belly, left arm under right, left shoulder and side of the head. And by side of the head, I mean like that place where you would do a side part. That's the part that's coming to the ground to support it. And this time that right hip pulls back just a little. Take a breath. And then inhale to unwind. Go ahead and take your hands nice and far out. Leave your hips elevated and just drop your forehead or your chest toward the floor. In yin, they call this melting heart. In hatha, it's puppy pose. But just a nice stretch for the chest and the shoulders. And then we'll go ahead and come back up. We're gonna take our right leg back, toes on the ground. So press your foot into the ground and then just press through that heel. Get a little stretch in the calf. And then you can stay here. You can extend the left arm and stay here, or you can then lift the right leg. Pulling the belly button in, feeling long through the body from fingertips to heels. Just engaging that core. And then we're gonna go ahead and plant that left hand, swing the right leg out to the side. I don't quite have enough room, so I'm gonna move a little bit. Take your right leg out to the side. My whole foot is on the floor. I'm just gonna shift my hips back. This gets a little bit of that inner thigh. And take a deep breath. And then go ahead and come up to a kneeling position. And we're just gonna take a little side stretch. So reaching that left arm up and going sideways. So I'm just gonna rotate just so you can see what this looks like. So I'm out to the side and I'm doing this. Good, and release and come back to tabletop position and we'll switch sides. So we're gonna take the left leg back this time. Start by just pressing through that heel. Nice stretch in the calf. You can stay here. You can extend the right arm and stay here, or you can lift the back leg, your choice. Again, pulling the low ribs and the belly in toward the spine to protect that low back. Feel length through the body. Like I don't need to be all the way up here. I'm just finding length. And then return the hand, swing the left leg out to the side, and then just shift the hips back. You might feel a little bit either in the hamstring or the inner thigh. Just take a breath. And then we're going to come up to a kneeling position and reach the right arm up and over, getting a side stretch. Find that breath. And then go ahead and release. We're going to come back to that tabletop position. And then we're just going to take our hands 1 or 2 hand lengths out in front, tuck the toes, and take a down dog. We'll just pedal through the feet. Take a big breath in and let it out. So as we're pedaling the feet, we're just trying to find a little bit of movement, opening up the ankles and the hamstrings. Your gaze should be toward your toes. I don't want to be out here because then my upper body is doing a lot of work. Think about pushing your body back. Knees can be bent. They don't have to be straight. We're just pedaling through the feet. Good. And then find stillness in your down dog. Maybe lifting your hips a little higher and coming to the balls of the feet. Maybe then dropping heels toward the ground. Nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. And then we're going to walk our feet forward. Come all the way up to the front of the mat. Bend your knees and take a forward fold. So I have a nice bend in my knees because we've not really opened up the back of the legs much. And I don't want my spine to just hang in space. So you can let your head be heavy because my chest is being supported by my thighs. It's kind of opening up the back side of the body. You can roll through the wrist again if you would like. And then we'll bring hands to thighs. Come halfway up. We're just going to pause here for a breath since we were in that deep forward fold. And then come all the way up to standing. Sweep the arms up and hands to heart center. All right, grab your blocks if you want to use them. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. Your hands will just come to the floor instead of the blocks. So we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, hinge at the hips, take a forward fold. Blocks if you want them, otherwise hands come to the floor. Inhale, halfway up. This is monkey pose or halfway up. So I'm straightening my legs to get a stretch in the back of the thighs. And I'm bringing my spine to a tabletop position. So I'm really lifting up pretty high. And then exhale, take that forward fold again. Blocks on either side of the body. Shift the weight into the right foot, left foot back. High lunge. So I'm getting a nice stretch in the front of my left leg here. My front knee and ankle are stacked. Heart lifts forward. I don't want to be back here. I want to think about lifting up. This is where I use the blocks because it allows me to come a little higher. You can also just come up to that front thigh. Either way works. And then we're going to bend that back leg and step up to that forward fold, all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. Switching sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Weight into the left foot. Right foot steps back this time. High lunge. And again, my feet are still hip distance apart. Front knee and ankle are stacked. Heart is lifting. Again, I don't want to stay down here. I want to think about lifting and pressing into my feet. And then we'll bend that back knee, step it up, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Weight into the right foot, left foot steps back. We're going to drop our back knee for low lunge. If you have sensitive knees, you can definitely place a blanket underneath that back leg. Just have it nearby your mat. And we'll just sink deeply into that hip. So I am pushing a little bit more. So my knee is going past my foot on this one, but it's not the full weight in that front leg. So I'm not real worried about it. Just sink deeply. Good. Then I am going to press into that front foot a little bit, and I'm going to lift my left arm up, and I'm going to take my left hand to the outside of my right knee. So I've crossed the body, and then I'm going to open the right arm to take a twist. You can also take prayer hands if you're already ready for a deeper twist. This is just a gentle twist to start. Inhale to unwind, tuck the back toes, and step up to your forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. All right, let's switch sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway up and fold. Weight into the left foot, right foot back. Drop the back knee. Sink the hips forward to begin. Nice deep stretch. And then I'm pressing out of it a little bit to come up to that front thigh. Inhale the right arm up. Right hand comes to the outside of the knee, and then I'm opening up. Again, you're welcome to take full prayer if you're already ready for a deeper stretch. But I'm pulling the belly button toward the spine. So I'm not pulling with that arm. My core is taking the twist. Inhale to unwind, tuck the back toes, step it up, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. Now let's move on. Inhale, lift and fold. Halfway up and fold. Weight into the right foot, left foot steps back, warrior two. So I'm rotating that back foot. My front foot comes to center, and I'm coming all the way up. So it's an external rotation on that front thigh. That knee and toe are in the same direction. But they're stacked and both pointing in that direction. My back foot is fully participating, and I soften my shoulders. All right, warrior two. From here, my forearm's going to come to my thigh, and I'm going to sweep that left arm up and over. I'm finding a nice diagonal line through the body. So a lot of times we do this, or we do up here. Keep sinking into that hip. Find that nice long line. You can stay here, or you begin to maybe look underneath that arm for a little rotation and stretch. Really opening up that side body. Back to warrior two. Hands to blocks or floor. Step it up, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. Okay, let's switch sides. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway up and fold. Weight into the left foot, right foot back. Warrior two. Rotate that back foot. I move my front foot as well, and I come all the way up. So looking at it from the back side, it's an external rotation. So this knee is in the same direction as those toes. I can see my big toe along the inside of my knee. Soften shoulders away from ears. Engage the core. Back foot is fully engaged. From here, we're going to drop our left forearm to the thigh and sweep that right arm up and over. Again, I'm going to try not to push out of that hip. Instead, I want to stay sinking in. It can also be here. It doesn't have to be fully, so deep into it. But I'm trying to find a long line to stretch through those fingertips. Get into that side body. One more breath here. Back to warrior two. Hands to blocks or the mat. Step it up, forward fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. All right, let's take a flow. So we'll inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. You're going to bring your hands all the way to the mat and step it back to plank. Full plank. I like to drop the knees for half plank when I'm starting my first flows. Hug the knees into the elbows into the body so that the inner elbow points to the opposite thumb. Keeping them close into the body, and I'm just going to lower all the way to the ground. Tops of the feet find the floor, and then I'm going to cobra. Inhale, lift the heart forward and up as I squeeze the shoulder blades down. So it's actually back work, not arm work, that is doing a cobra. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes. Come through tabletop and into your down dog. Pause here for a breath. Take a breath in and a breath out. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and walk our feet forward. Come to the top of the mat. Nice forward fold and inhale all the way up. Hands to heart center. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Grab your blocks. If you're using blocks, weight into the right foot, left foot steps back, high lunge. So from here, we're going to take our high lunge into a twist, just like we did with that low lunge. So I'm going to press into that front thigh to come all the way up. That's step one. Then I'm going to inhale that left arm up, left hand to the outside of the knee, and then open up with the right. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulder, you can bring your right hand to your hip and just gaze over that right shoulder. And then we'll inhale to unwind, hands to blocks, step it up, forward fold. Inhale all the way up, hands to heart center. Switching sides, inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway up and fold. Weight into the left foot, right foot steps back. High lunge, go ahead and press up to that front thigh. We're going to inhale the right arm up. Right hand comes to the outside of the knee. And then I'm going to open up to the left. Again, if this doesn't feel good in your shoulder, just bring your hand to your hip and gaze over the left shoulder. Draw your belly button in toward your spine. A lot of core work. Deep breath. And go ahead and unwind. Hands to blocks. Step it up, forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. All right, we're going to take a little chair pose. I'm going to adjust just a little bit. Keep getting closer to the fireplace. My mat's moving. All right, chair pose. So we're going to bring big toes together and about an inch between the heels. We're going to inhale the arms up, and then I want you to sit back into a chair. And by sitting back, what I mean is the butt is going back. So a lot of times we just bend the knees. I don't want my shoulders over my ankle or my hips over my ankles. I want my hips back. Okay, so my big toes are together. There's a little bit of space between my heels. And I want you to think about squeezing your thighs together. So thighs squeeze and then heels press away from each other. So you're kind of having this inner thighs in, heels out, energetic pull. This is our chair. Woo, yeah, thighs are burning. Deep breath. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Hands to heart center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, sit back into the chair. Squeeze the thighs together. Heels press away from each other. You can stay here. You can bring hands to heart center, or you can take this into a twist. So for the twist, I'm going to bring my left hand to the outside of the knee, right hand to the hip, and just gaze over that right shoulder. Same motion, just different position for our feet. Inhale to unwind. Bring hands back to heart center. Right hand comes to the outside of the left knee, left hand to the hip, gazing over that left shoulder. Lots of core work. Inhale to unwind, hands to heart center. Deep breath, and then inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beautiful. All right. Next thing we're going to do is a balance pose. So we're going to do tree pose with a twist. So feel free to grab a chair, a mantle, something to hold on to if you'd like a little bit of support. So we're going to start, actually, I'm going to face this way. We're going to face this way. Shift the weight into your left foot. I'm sorry, your right foot. Sorry, weight into your right foot. Kickstand with your left. So by kickstand, we're just externally rotating that leg to give us, to prepare us for tree pose. From here, you're gonna go ahead and you can bring the foot to the calf. Maybe you just hang out here. Maybe it comes to inner thigh. We're just taking a basic tree pose to begin. Beautiful. Now I want you to bring this knee forward and up. Again, draw the belly button in, core engaged. Right hand's gonna come to the outside of that knee, and I'm gonna open up into a twist. So it's a balancing twist. Find your breath. You can gaze forward, you can gaze to the side. The most challenging piece would be to gaze back at your hand. And let's go ahead and unwind, plant that left foot down. We'll take a cleansing breath. Inhale the arms up, shake it out, and we'll do the other side. Shift the weight into the left foot, kickstand with the right. So I've externally rotated the leg at the hip. You can leave the big toe on the ground, or you can bring the foot to the calf. Just starting to find that little bit of balance. Core engaged, hands to heart center. And then we're going to rotate that knee back forward and lift up. Again, drawing the core in. Taking this into a twist, the left hand comes to the outside of the knee and the right arm opens. Again, you can gaze forward, you can gaze to the side, or the most challenging position would be to allow your gaze to follow the hand all the way back. One more breath. Then we'll go ahead and unwind, plant that right foot down, cleansing breath. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, shake it out. Let's do one more flow. So we'll inhale the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands find the floor. Step it back into plank. Full plank or drop the knees for half plank. Again, hug those elbows in, lower down, all the way to the floor. Cobra, tops of the feet find the floor. Press your pelvis. Heart lifts forward and up, squeezing shoulder blades down the back. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes through tabletop and into your down dog. We're going to hold down dog for 3 breaths. Feel free to pedal the feet if that would feel good. You can also always take a child's pose. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. And then we all will take a child's pose, knees wide, big toes together, shift the hips back. Allow the arms maybe to be long, forehead comes to the floor. Breathing deeply into the back body. And then go ahead and release the arms. Let the arms come to either side of the body, allowing the forehead to rest on the floor. If the forehead doesn't quite come to the floor, grab a block and let the head rest on something so you feel supported. I'm just going to hang out here for a breath. Excellent. Hands under shoulders. Slowly come up. Come into a comfortable seat. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you feel a little elongated through the body, through the side body, that the breath can come a little easier. There's a little more breath, a little more space for the breath. But thank you all for coming. We will see you next week. Namaste.